So now let's talk about adding construction geometries like centerline, centermark, hatches, and so on. Now all these symbols or construction geometries are available on Annotation Command Manager. Right here we have the panel with all of these tools. I'll start with centerline. Now using centerline, well, you can add a center line between two parallel or intersecting lines. In this case, we have these two parallel lines. So I'll just select this and we'll have the center line. Now click OK. And now you can also extend this center line further just by moving these grips. Not only that, if you want, you can actually change its style, its thickness, or even color. So select the center line, and from here you can change the style, you can change the thickness, and you can change the color here. So click and we have the color options. In this case, both these lines were parallel, but if you want, you can actually add center line between intersecting lines. For example, I'll select this line and then I'll select this one, and again we have the center line. So the two lines, they just need not be completely parallel, and even if they are intersecting, you can still add the center line. After adding these center lines, you can actually use it for adding dimensions in your drawing. Now let's see how we can add center mark. So the center mark tool is right here, select it, and now you can select any center in your drawing and it will just add the center mark. But before we do that, let's see what options we have here in the center mark tool. Now, as you can see, we have some automatic options. We'll talk about these options in a moment, but for now, let's go to this manual insert option. Now here we have three options. We have an option of adding center mark individually, or you can add it in a rectangular array kind of fashion, or you can add it in circular array. So in this case, I'll start with this, the manual insert option, and now select the holes where we just want to, well, add it. So here we have these two holes, and right here, the center mark is added. Now, if you have slot, you can add the center mark for slot as well. So we have the straight slot and then this arc shaped slot. So you can just select the type of slot and the type of center mark you want to add. For a straight one, we can add this exactly at the center, or we can add this kind of center mark where the center marks are added at the center of these two arcs. Similarly, we have the type of center mark that you want to add. Just select the one you want to apply and then select the slot in your drawing, and automatically it will add that center mark. Now in this case, this is not the kind of center mark which I want, so I'll just change that to this one, and here we are. So we've got the center mark on both of these ends. Now we have some display options that you can change here. By default, it will take the properties as defined in the document settings, but you can uncheck this option and you can change the values, like you can change the center mark size, you can change the gap, and so on. I'll leave the document defaults. Then we have the options like changing the angle of center mark. Now, right now the default angle is what I want, but just in case you want to align it, well, you can change it here. And if you have several layers, you can put these center marks on different layers from this list. Of course, we don't want it, so I'll leave it. With that, I'll click OK, and we have the center mark added for the slot as well as for these two holes. Now, these holes are added in a pattern. So this one is in a circular pattern and these holes are in rectangular pattern. And if you want to add center mark for all of these holes, then you can use the direct method. So go to center mark, and here we have an option of auto inserting it for all holes. Now using this option, basically you can add center mark for every single hole in the drawing view. So select this option and now select the drawing view where you want to add it. And look at this, it will automatically add the center mark for every single hole or the feature like fillets and other things. It also included this one. Now, in this case, it completely ignored center mark for fillets, but just in case you want to include the fillets, check this one and it will add the center mark for fillets as well. For example, this fillet and this fillet, we have these two center marks. And for slots, just check this one and we have the center mark for slots. So here you don't need to do it manually, just check these boxes and all the center marks will be added in your drawing automatically. Now I'll just click OK and we have the center marks. Now let's explore one more option, and for that I'll select it all and delete every single center mark applied so far, and again I'll go to center mark option. Now here we have an option of creating rectangular pattern. So I'll just select this rectangular pattern and now select the center mark where you want to add it. So right here. Now this entire thing is part of rectangular pattern. So simply click on this option right here, the propagate option, and it will automatically apply it on all the rectangular holes. There we are. Click OK and we are done. In a similar way, you can apply it for the circular pattern. So go to center mark, select the circular pattern, select any single hole from this list and click on propagate. And now it has applied it on all the center marks. So you don't have to just select every single hole manually and it will apply it automatically. Click OK and that's done. Now let's talk about adding hatches. So to add the hatch pattern, select this area hatch fill and now select the area where you want to add it. Now there are two options for selecting area. We have region and boundary. When you select region, SolidWorks will let you click inside a region and then every single boundary connecting that region will be selected. You can also select boundary and then define the boundary simply by clicking on the boundary elements. I don't want to select that, so simply I'll clear the selection and I'll go to region. Now this is the easiest method. So I'll select region and I'll click inside this region and we have the hatch pattern applied here. Now, if you want to change the settings, for example, if you want to put it on a different layer, that's here. If you want to change the scale of this hatch pattern, you can do it here. Right now, scale is set to 1. I'll make it 2 and I'll press the tab key. So there we are. So we've got the scale here. You can also change the pattern style. So right now it is NC31 pattern, but let's say we want to change it to NC32. That's right here. Or maybe anything else, cork right here. So I'll change it back to NC31. You can also change the angle. So if I make it 45, it's going to make it perfectly vertical because it will rotate it with respect to original hatch angle. So it was already at 45, it added 45, which is making it 90 degree. So that's the angle of hatch pattern. So I'll just make it 0 and also I'll change the scale back to 1. Now you can also select the hatch pattern or a solid color, or you can just ignore everything altogether and there won't be anything added here. So you can select the type of pattern which you want to add from this list. I'll select hatch and with that click OK and the pattern is added here. If you want to modify this pattern, simply select this hatch and once again you'll have its property manager and from here you can once again modify it. Finally, let's talk about revision cloud. So revision cloud is not a direct drawing feature. We usually use it to show the parts where modification is required. For example, here, well, I'll start with revision cloud and you can see that we have several options for drawing the revision cloud. I'll start with the rectangular one and now create a cloud. So click, let go your cursor and then click again and you'll get this kind of cloud. Now the arc radius, the maximum arc radius for this cloud is this, which you can of course change. You can make it smaller or larger. And also you can change the line style simply by unchecking this and specifying the line type, or click here to use the document style. Once you are done with that, you can attach a note along with this revision cloud. For example, let's say we want to change number of holes here. We want to make it 5. For that, you can just add the cloud and then go to note and add it here. We'll talk about note in a moment. To modify this, select the revision cloud and the option will show up again. In this case, I'll just select the revision cloud and delete it. Let's see revision cloud again. So we have other revision cloud options. For example, this one, which is the elliptical one, you can select and you can create an elliptical revision cloud just like that. And after making it, you can still move it wherever you want. You can also change the size of revision cloud just by moving these grips. Now, if you want to add revision cloud of a different type, you can again go to this and select a different type of revision cloud. For example, an irregular one. So in this case, you can click on different points to add the revision cloud as per your requirement. Click at this starting point and we are finished. And you can also once again modify it using all these grips. And finally, we have another revision cloud right here, which is a completely freehand revision cloud. So here you can start from a point and just start moving your cursor, and wherever your cursor moves, it will just create a revision cloud. Go back to starting point and the revision cloud is finished. So there we are. So we've got this freehand revision cloud. We don't have that much flexibility here in terms of grips and all, but just in case you want to add it, well, that's the option right here. So I'll just select these revision clouds and I'm just going to delete all of these from our drawing. And that's how you can add all these construction geometries.